Hey everybody, it's Jane from Chalk Mercantile and Surface Anthology. Welcome. I've got a scary house for you guys today. I want to decorate this using some IOD molds. And then later in the week, once the molds dry, I'm going to put some decoupage, and I'll show you that in a minute. I just want to get my link out to my text group people so they know I'm here having some fun. All right. And oops. There it goes. And I'm also streaming to YouTube. I am three subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're so inclined, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll put the link here in Facebook so I can make it to 1,000. My sons are making fun of me. They're like, Mom, you're three people away for like 3 weeks away from having 1,000. Hey, Danielle. Hello again, right? Today, I've been on and off this camera. And hello, Renee. Good to see you both. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. I want to make 1,000. Hey, Shannon. How are you? I thought today, I had painted these, before this months ago. Oh, Renee, thank you so much for scattering my video. I appreciate it. Yeah, and if you guys think, anybody would enjoy watching a little Halloween decor, feel free to scatter my video about, and they can join in. But I had painted these. I have 2 of them. I'm only going to do one today. These paper mache houses, and you could see my fingerprints all over, and I'm going to tell you how I'm going to fix that when I'm done. It's because I've been using paper clay all afternoon, and this is chalk paint with no finish, and that's exactly what happens to chalk paint when you touch it and you've got stuff on your hands, if it doesn't have a built-in top coat. So what I want to do, let me put the cover on. I painted these, both of them, a flat black. Now, my kids are grown. I do have a 4-year-old grandson, and, he's excited to dress up. That's what my kids do. My 3 boys loved getting dressed up. My twins, who are going to be 31 in October, their birthday was right before Halloween, so we always had a Halloween-themed birthday party, which meant, an apple dunk and all that kind of stuff outside. This was pre-computers. Shannon saying she found a house similar to that to update for Halloween. Absolutely, Shannon. Because my concept, my vision, Danielle, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate you scattering it about. So my idea was, once I get this decorated, I would put one of those, little LCD candles, like a little flickering candle inside the 2 of them. Hey, Sandy, how are you? Thanks for joining. So I thought they would look great next to each other. The other one, let me see if I can grab it, is smaller, right? Well, it doesn't look smaller there, Jane. But you see, and they kind of look like, it reminds me of the House of 7 Gables up in Massachusetts. And by the way, one of my cousins, her husband, he was a merchant marine and an amazing woodworker. He is. And he built a replica of House of 7 Gables. And we went to visit them. They live in Massachusetts. And I'm telling you, that house is pretty ominous. But doesn't it look a little kind of scary, painted in this matte black and next to each other? So I thought I would put one of those little LCD candles inside flickering to give it, a little dimension, right? So what I want to do and what I'm going to show you is I've been making molds, And I'm going to show you how I make a mold because I still have a couple to make. But I wanted to do this. They've been drying maybe for 10 minutes, so they're at a really good point to glue, right? I could kind of touch them. They're not really soft. Oh, good. Danielle says, I'm watching you and working on my August project for the paid group. Danielle, are you going to enter the raffle? You better, because you're going to win again. Everybody, Danielle is talking about the Surface Anthology membership, which just closed. I have 20 wonderful people in there. I'm really, really excited. And I will reopen it again, probably in October, towards the end of October. And every month we have a raffle, so and plus everything else, right? And Danielle is a member. Oh, Shannon, you have to, absolutely. And you guys, when you enter the raffle, and I'll have a regular raffle too, because I'm thinking about that for everybody else watching. So keep your eyes peeled. If you're not on my email list or my text group, make sure to join, because then I'll let you know when I'm having my raffle. You know, and definitely, so Shannon, definitely do that. Oh, what I was going to say is you could do your sample on a board. It doesn't have to be a whole piece of furniture. It could be a sample board, just of the technique we used that month. All right. So you see, back to our scary house. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm using molds, and these don't look particularly scary, but I love black. I love black and white. I love it, love it. This reminds me of Wedgwood, the black Wedgwood. It's so gorgeous, and I forgot what it's called. Maybe Jasperware. I'm not sure. I bet somebody out there will know what that is. But I was putting on these little things that I made, these little tiny birds. Right? And then what I was thinking, and you'll see I've made some other big ones for the sides, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. I am going to decoupage the inside. Now this is from the frames mold. The inside with this, I have this black and white decoupage paper with like all these cool bugs and stuff like this, stuff like that. So I thought like maybe I would put this little beetle here right down into the middle of that frame. And who's not afraid of creepy crawly bugs, right? So I'm gonna do that on the front. I also made, and I'll show you, these little, this is from the Cameos mold. These like, what are they called? Cabochon? But these little just round shapes that are perfect for decoupage. And I'm going to put them like this, right down here. Like that, right? But what's going to break up all this kind of super contrast is that each one is going to have a black and white decoupaged paper in the middle. So that's going to break up so your eye isn't going to go to these big white shapes like that. And then let me show you how I'm doing the sides. And let me tell you, and I'll show you how I do the birds. When you make these little tiny, tiny birds, and this is from these are from the Cameo mold, you've gotta like pop them out, and then I find you just have to put them down and let them dry out just a little bit, because they get distorted really easily if you don't. Okay, so let's take these off, and I'm going to use Tight Bond like I always do. Aileen's Tacky Glue is fabulous for this. And by the way, this is dust. This is called Entomology by Jim Holtz. And I actually think I have this in my Chalk Mercantile shop. I love this decoupage paper. Ooh, let me take a sip of my coffee. I've been painting and sanding, you guys, and talking. And I haven't done enough cleaning and vacuuming. But this decoupage paper, this tissue is really strong, and it's not big and bulky, like it's sheets that I can use. You know, the size is really good. It's on these little rolls for these kinds of projects. So I really like it. So let me roll this up to get it out of the way. Now for the sides, because I'm not gonna do the back, though, you know, you could do a whole other season. It's just a big blank, nice wall. And frankly, these would be beautiful in the middle of a table if you were hosting like a Halloween gathering, and you could do it all the way around and do some really beautiful decoupage. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do some of the frames on the back and add some more decoupage. But for now, let me show you the side. So for the sides, I'm gonna put this here, and that's from the frames mold. And then up in the eaves, I'm gonna put this little square one like this. And these are both going to have decoupage. And then I'll also put more birds flying around like this. And I just love this. If you don't like black and white, the other thing you could do is, and I've actually started using these a lot, the mold dried out completely, like letting them just dry out. And when I do that, I do kind of flip them over, because if you have them drying just like this, the top will dry faster than the bottom, which isn't getting air, and they'll kind of contract up like this. The other thing to do is put them down like on a piece of mesh, like a window screen. And that way they'll dry evenly around. But you could dry them out, paint them, you know, if you want to do a contrasting color, and then just glue them right down. I think it would look beautiful. Aren't the birds the perfect touch? Absolutely. But here's the last thing that I use. I think they're really kind of scary, but I love them. I got these are called, I called them frozen Charlottes. They're these little, they're by Jim Holtz. And if any of you have heard of frozen Charlottes, they used to put these little porcelain dolls inside of cakes. And I think it was popular Christmas time in England, like a plum pudding or something like that. But I think they're really creepy. So I thought, you know, once I decoupage, I can glue these dolls down, or put them down kind of just like sitting down at the bottom. And that's a little scary. Don't you need these? I laugh because I sit here, these kind of projects, because they're not serious, right? When I'm painting a piece of furniture, I'm pretty serious about it. And doing something like this is so fun. You can really let your imagination go, you know? And it's a small project, and trust me, I am going to bring this out year after year. I'm not gonna make this and then throw it out. This is a lot of work. We're doing these molds, and it will be beautiful. And what I do, and I think I showed you guys what I did with my birdhouse, I cover it up loosely on a shelf in my basement with plastic, an old, you know, grocery bag, and that way it doesn't get dusty. And then you could just bring it out again every year. But yeah, isn't that a little creepy? So that's my plan. And I only have 3 of these left. They were in one of the Merry Maker kits. So I'm gonna use them on this. And then I think that's it. I've got a lot of molds to choose from. I might do more, but let me show you how I make a mold in case you haven't seen. I need another one of these. So I just grab my mold. This is the frames one. This is the original frames. And cornstarch, of course. I might have been breathing in cornstarch. And then I just take, I have this old fluffy brush, and I just brush on some cornstarch. Just like this. Close that up so it doesn't go everywhere. Grab my clay. Now, when you have your clay, this is air dry clay. so you don't want any air getting at it. I will put a couple of elastic bands when I'm done, and then I put it into a Ziploc bag. So I try to be really careful. All right, so we're making that one. I don't need a lot of clay. Let's see if this is good. And roll the clay like this so you get a really smooth side. Sometimes, like if you put bits of it together, you'll get kind of little fissures. They look like cracks. If you want a really smooth mold, just do that and then put that down and press into the mold. Just like that. And this is nice, fresh clay, so it's not drying out, which I love. And I use my burnishing stick from the Iron Orchid Transfers, and I just push off the excess, just like this. Working from the inside out, and that's it. Put the excess back in, and then just fold this down and grab my elastic, and then you just turn this and it just pops right out, and there it is. I just love these. I would love to work with some porcelain clay. I'm not a potter, but boy, would I love to make porcelain. Hey, Julie, how are you? Thanks for joining us. I would love to make porcelain ornaments with these molds. We do have, I'm near Wesleyan University in Middletown, and there's a kind of an art collective called Wesleyan Potters. And I did take classes there when I was in high school. Maybe I'll go back and see if I could buy some porcelain clay and do this. You can also, by the way, with these little birds that I'm being very careful with, you can take, let me see, you can take these little birds, and, you know, I love layering the molds too, and put them right into these molds, and you could glue those and make little scenes. These would be great for doll houses too, because I know a lot of people are into doll houses. All right, let's glue. So I'm gonna flip these over. These birds are already drying. And the other thing is you don't want them to totally dry out, the little birds, because they get brittle and we don't want to break anything off. All right, I think what I'm gonna have to do is one side and then wait for that to dry and do the other side. So we'll do the front now. Here's my favorite tight bond. And I just use a little piece of cardboard, put a blob of this out. Are you guys decorating for the fall yet? It's still hot, but boy, in a couple of days, it's going to be September 1st. I think August flew by faster than any month I can remember. It just flew by. All right, I'm going to start with my frame, my fancy frame, that I'm going to put right there in the middle. So I used a natural bristle brush. It's stiff bristles. You don't want anything too soft because it just will weep under the glue. It won't hold up to it. And I just put the glue on. I don't go all the way to the edge because I know I'm going to be shifting this around a little bit, and I don't want it to kind of push out. And since it's not a piece of furniture, I'm not worried about it. If I was putting it on furniture, I would want every bit of it glued down for sure. And if you find these houses, it doesn't have to be a Halloween house. You can make a Christmas house or a Thanksgiving house or whatever holiday you can imagine, you can decorate these houses. All right, so I'm centering it right on that. Right, it looks good. and then I just press this down. Just like that. Oh, and I just love the black and white. Love, love, love. All right, and then up here, I'm doing 2 rosettes. Same thing. And press down. Renee started for fall. Oh, that's so great. And Julie, your daughter-in-law, does pottery. Julie, ask her about porcelain clay. And I wonder if she knows anything about this. See what she knows. Because I just think they'd be gorgeous. I make the ornaments out of the paper clay, but porcelain definitely has a really, really rich look, a really beautiful look, and I think it would be gorgeous. All right, let me get my other rosette. Imagine these little rosettes in porcelain. Oh, they would be so gorgeous. You could do an entire tree, a Christmas tree, in rosette ornaments. You know, like a small one. It would be beautiful. Okay. And I am somebody, there we go. I put my tree up pretty early, like right after Thanksgiving. Oh, thank you, Julie. Julie's going to check that out, and she loves it. So cute. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Julie. She's going to check it out with her daughter, so she'll report back. I love decorating for Christmas, and whatever holiday you celebrate and what you decorate for, don't feel like you need to, there's some, acceptable time to put your tree up or your menorah or whatever, your cornucopia. It's your home, and if you enjoy that, I want to make that season stretch out as long as I can. I just love it. And even in New England, New Englanders are known for having their wreaths on their doors until February or March. It's hilarious. So I say do what you love and enjoy it, right? If you love Christmas and you've got a tree in every room, I had a customer who started decorating for Christmas her entire house in October. I mean, she had one of these trains moving and all of that. She loved it. All right, so there's that. And then we have our 2 little cameo thingies. And I'm going to put these right on the windows. But you see how important it is when you're doing something like this to have it dry flat. If I were to turn this, these would start to move, and we don't want that to happen. All right, one more. And I have a friend. She is big into the Hallmark, the Hallmark Christmas channel. She loves it so much. She's involved with these people who have a podcast about it. Her and her husband just got back from like a conference about it. I'm jealous because they get to be kind of immersed in the Christmas spirit all year long. All right. Now it looks a little, boom, 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 but wait till we decoupage with our paper, right? I just think this is going to be very cool. Maybe I really want to put that beetle right in the middle there. I think that will be neat. And then again, these are the best. My little frozen Charlottes, or these little girls like that. I just think that is hilarious, and it's creepy. And you could put those right up in the middle like that. Look at that. So it's kind of fancy scary, right? It's not like really gory, anything like that. But that's just a little creepy, you know? Like something you'd see in a Victorian broken down museum or something. But I just love that. So you might see it like that when I come back during the week to finish this. So I'm going to keep going, you guys. I'm going to put these little birds on the front. And these are really drying, so I've got to get these on. And I'm just going to tap a little bit of glue on this. Just like that. And you could do like a whole flock of these moving down. That's another thing that would be really interesting and a little unusual, a little, you know, scary. Like, why are all those birds doing that? So when I put on a little too much glue like that, I just take my finger and pull that off. Ah, and there goes the tail. And the reason I did that was because it will blob out. So now I have to put some on there. Let's see if I could pull this off. I'll put him down and then the little tail. And this is the one little mold that's very, very delicate. There. So there it is, you guys. I'm going to continue. And when I come back during the week, I'm going to have it so it's all done. And then we're going to do our decoupage. And you may see some frozen Charlottes thrown in too. Let me know what you guys are doing. I would love to see pictures, what your fall decor is, Halloween. Have you started on Christmas? Have you started on maybe you're making gifts? I would love to see that. Be sure, if you're not in the Painted Cottage Facebook group, that's a group I have with Tammy of Flippin' Furniture, Joni of Weathered Wings Art, and Kim of For the Nest. It's a group where we encourage you guys to post. We have some workshops in there, and I would love to see what you're working on. All right? So everyone have a wonderful day. Again, welcome to my new Surface Anthology members. If anybody out there wants to join, I am going to be reopening, and if you go to surfaceanthology.com, you could click on the membership and you could get your name on the wait list, and then I'll let you know when I open again. All right?